As men, so many of us have become lost. How many of us are happy? Happy in that way that brings peace, not vitriol. Gratitude, not an all-pervading sense of loss. And strength. Strength to stand for what is uniquely sacred to us. Most of us cower, both from life and inevitable death. Of course, this has not stopped the shadows reaching out for us. One day, each of us will know their touch, and for almost all, it is far sooner than could ever be believed. This choice of a lesser life that many of us make, it is understandable. Men of the West are treated atrociously by society, a society that in the richest of ironies they brought into being. Luxury, safety, hands about our throats, little by little, squeezing, ever squeezing. Once it was different. Life was harder, many times outright brutal, with death and intimate acquaintance. It was under such conditions that we men took up the fire of our birthright, and once seized in our hands, clutched it tightly to our breast, holding it there till flame caught upon heart. It was by this light that we tamed land and beast, forging an Eden of our own to replace that which had been lost. As for women, women were claimed in strength, not just by the strength of overwhelming physical superiority, but by the strength of that fire, one in whose light we would slay any beast or fellow man that threatened. A fire which would provide and protect. And so, the foundation stones for Western society were laid. Weak men did not last, and nor did they breed. Whilst the overwhelming majority of women to ever exist carried a child, less than half of men to walk the earth ever became fathers. Of men and women, each gave to the other, with each appreciative of those gifts. To women, we gave the very gift of life, both for them and their children, and in turn, we received intimacy, pleasure, and the immortality that was offspring, and so society grew. Men tamed and slayed, growing their mastery not just over the physical world, but the intellectual one as well. And with each victory, with each dragon put to the sword, the world became softer and safer. So much so, that amongst many women and weak men, a pernicious whisper began to pass from lips to ears and back again. It was this, that the time of the ancient protector and provider was past, that for all his deeds, all his conquests, he was now and forevermore not to be needed. In time, very short time, his legacy itself would be derided. Never mind evolution, that titanic beast huge of more. To overly coddled women and men, both so easily beguiled by the privileged baubles of fashion, celebrity and technology, the history of our coming to being on this planet was something to be shucked off. A worn, stained, shameful coat, fit now only for rags. But the beast, it only smiled its terrible smile. It is nothing if not patient. It knows it will feed again, for when has it ever gone hungry for long? Of those whose strength and protection had wrought a mortal Eden from a world dedicated at times to their ending, as quipped one woman, why do fish need bicycles? The language in which she spoke her idea, crafted and offended by the blood of men. The country in which she stood, its freedoms, its moralities, forged by men. Her very life itself, from the medical and technological advancements of men that saw her draw breath so that she could speak words so that the masses of the weak may titter. All of it meant nothing. For what need had they of men? What need had she, this pathetically weak, helpless creature, who sat like a putridly spoiled child in its own filth, happily, greedily, gorging itself from the cookie jar, with no thought given as to how its treasure came into being, of the clothes that swaddled it, the house that surrounded it, the land in which it lived, content to shovel treat after treat down gullet till none remained, and then scream in narcissistic entitlement for more. What need the fish for the bike? What need for gratitude, respect, humility, virtue? What need indeed? And we men allowed it all. So far had we wandered from the fire of our birthright. Man of the West, you are of the minority. Some of you have sought out the fire, held it to your breast, and breathed life unknown till that moment. Others of you, you see the flames on the horizon and are now finding your way home. You will be welcomed back by the souls of those fathers and brothers who have gone on before you. Feel the flame, grow as it does. As a man, you will know total physical superiority over any woman you encounter. In empathy, morality, the overwhelming majority of you will exercise restraint, Restraint vital for the growth of the fire, and vital too for women whom we still tend. We tame the beasts of the world, butcher them when it suits our needs. We do this because we are more than them. Yet this does not change the fact that all women move through a world created by men, in which, in every moment, they are utterly helpless before us. That this animal reality is seldom demonstrated in the West does not abolish it. For women who seek to be with you, or you seek to be with, recognise that which you will command, and that which is forever the province of her own soul, and over which you will never have power. For in strength and dominance, you will elicit helpless response, and if you are nothing more than a rutting monkey, that would be enough. But you are so much more. You stand as creator. Before that, you may not control what is sacred to her, and whether she has the strength to fight for that. For certainly one does not automatically follow the other. Indeed, for most men and women alike, rather than a warrior standing ever poised to attack in the name of that most intrinsic, you'll find instead a craven, one which will flee at the first sign of challenge. Then, there is that which makes her laugh till she cries. To know this is to know that which will lead her out of the shadowlands where all we know is grief, doubt, and despair. For we will all have occasion to walk there. It is what we can laugh at that sets bonfires which mark the path back. It will not be easy. Quality is exceptionally hard to find, whether in man or woman. The desperately thirsty and the vacuous a legion. But better to keep standards high and search for such than gorge on swill. And so the beginning.